you. We're reconvening here at the Joint Committee for Judicial Retention. We did have a witness this evening that we heard from. She testified for about a half an hour with involving one of the judges who is presently up for retention. After some discussion, the committee has decided that we have received her testimony and that we would like to call Judge Pact back to our next meeting. I believe March 8th, is it, Peggy? 3rd, March 3rd. Okay, to our next committee meeting. At this point, I will make contact with this witness and make sure that just advise her that this was a live stream and that she was recorded and that the judge was present. That was the consensus of the committee, and I am prepared to do that tomorrow. Anything further from anyone else in the room?
No, just want to make sure. Are there any other people that want to be heard, Peggy?
Not that I've heard from anyone else.
Okay. So.
Judge Zone, anything else to contribute?
Nothing further at this time. Thank you for your courtesy and cooperation tonight. Okay,
very good. Joe.
Chip, I'd just like to resolve this before Eric goes off trying to figure out what to do procedurally here. When you come on YouTube, there's a sign in the upper left-hand corner of my screen that says you are being live streamed on YouTube.
Yeah.
This was advertised as a public meeting. People were invited to come and testify publicly, and I don't want to violate the open meeting law in future events. I think probably going forward, it would be best if at the beginning of every meeting, it is made clear every time we go onto YouTube that we are live streaming on YouTube. I try to do that with my committee every day. But I think in fairness to the committee process, this person came in to testify in a public meeting, and I know YouTube enhances the publicity of it, but it wouldn't be any different if there was a reporter sitting in the room pre-COVID and taking down notes. We can't prevent the reporter from taking down notes. I feel bad for her if she was completely oblivious to that, but I would be reluctant to set up a precedent whereby we're making decisions after the fact to take down testimony. That's very problematic to me.
Well, that's not the plan, Joe. We're not about to take down this meeting. I think it's been, in my opinion, in my mind, it's been decided and with advice from Eric that it would be inappropriate to take this down. But I think that just a brief contact with her to just review that this was a live stream and that it was broadcast on YouTube, and invite her to view it if she likes, would be an appropriate measure to take at this point in time, just out of concern that we've heard from some of the committee members.
Just to throw out this to talk about, should you also advise her that Judge Pact is no longer sitting in her jurisdiction?
Well, that's getting a little bit iffy, I think, in my opinion. I don't think it's up to this committee to and make that information known to her.
Maybe Judge Zone can. I mean, it seems appropriate that she be told that. She's worried about that part. And
yeah, that's true.
This is a public meeting, you know, just because she wasn't to hear it, somebody should tell her. I don't know if Judge Zone, would it be appropriate for you to tell her, or should our committee do it? What would be your preference?
I believe it would be appropriate for the committee. As a judge, I'm not supposed to comment on any pending or impending matters, and so I think the committee would be the appropriate venue for that.
Yeah, fair enough, Judge. So here, it's the opinion of the committee that I should include that in my conversation with her. Then that's fine with me. advise her that Judge Pack has been, will not sit any further on any cases that she's involved in.
So I think to err on the side of caution, I think you might want to run your note that you're about to send by Eric.
Okay,
And have Eric take a look at it.
Okay.
Make sure that we have
Yep.
stepped on our toes.
Sure.
again.
good idea. You can do that. Eric, that sound okay to you?
Sure.
Okay,
The only thing I would add, sort of following up on what Senator Benning had said, is that I don't think that I don't see a Public Records Act implication for whether or not a witness understood that the meeting was being live streamed or not. I don't think that's a PRA issue. That's obviously a policy issue for the committee to a fairness issue. But I just didn't want there to be an implication that somehow that was a Public Records Act violation. I don't think that's the issue. It's more of a fairness issue, I think, is what people were thinking about. And as people were saying, that's a good rule of thumb might be to publicize that as much as possible so people are aware of it. Although, as Senator Benning indicated, there's also some indication of it on the YouTube page already, but the more the better, certainly. The other thing with respect to the Public Records Act, I would say, is that, and this goes to the point of whether or not taking the video down might be a PRA violation. I'm not so sure that it would be, now that I've obviously, haven't had a ton of time, but I've tried to review it, skim it as much as I could here. I'm not so sure that it would be. However, it may, but I don't know anything about, it's obviously policy, I think, that the legislature has been keeping these up because they're up. So there may be a legislative policy on these being up that I'm just not aware of it. So in other words, I'm not saying that just because it may not be a Public Records Act to take it down doesn't mean that I'm saying therefore go ahead, because it may well be a policy that it's supposed to stay up as well. So on the side of caution, I would suggest you don't do anything with it at this point. If you wanted to follow up with leadership and find out, or perhaps the president of the clerks of the Senate and the House, whether or not there's a policy on that, we could do that. Anyway, I guess that's all I had to say on that point for the moment.
Selena.
I believe there is some rules that govern the posting and archiving of these meetings that have been developed and voted on, I think, through joint rules.
Yeah,
Thank
that's my
you.
recollection.
That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, we had a conversation in our community, in fact, today about the same subject and some inappropriate chat lines that had come through in various hearings that are public and that were inappropriate. So I would be reluctant to take this down tonight and look for further advice. And I think I can contact the clerk of the House and see what her opinion she might offer. What opinion she might offer.
Right.
Did you all get a message when we went live that said we're going live?
I did.
Live streamed?
Yes.
Yes.
I would think she would have seen that also.
I doubt it.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of evidence that, she should have known, but we cannot conclude that at this point.
She couldn't see us. I don't think she could see us at all.
I'm not sure if she could or not. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think we should. 8 people were viewing it. I looked it up.
She doesn't need a camera to see us if she's on the link.
Right, we couldn't see her, but she could see us.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything further from anyone?
Sorry, I was late again.
Just back up into your Bela Lugosi face there, Joe. Yeah, there he goes. Beautiful. We love it. Okay, so hearing nothing further, I will move to adjourn that. Well, I will adjourn this meeting, and we will pick up again on March 3rd. And Judge Pack, you're invited.
We're
Not
not
March
here.
3rd.
Not 3rd,
March
10th. I'm sorry.
Let's take a week off.
Yeah.
Okay. And Judge Fact, you are invited to appear on on March 10th before the committee again.
Great, thank you.